I got kidnapped as a kid.
What?
Huh?
Yeah.
By
But
who?
it wasn't scary. I need to put my.
What do you mean you got
What?
kidnapped and it
I got
wasn't
kidnapped as a
scary?
kid.
Confused.
It's funny because I just told this story on stream literally 2 days ago. So as a kid, I was it was like either first grade or kindergarten. I don't remember. But it was after school, and me and my sister would always meet at a specific slide, and then we'd walk home. And I lived in kind of a shitty area, but we'd walk home like 6 blocks, and so it was like kind of a long walk. But she had like a lot of friends because she was older, so I'd have to stand out there for like 15 minutes alone before she would come and find me. She was in like 4th grade and I was in 1st grade, I think. So I'm hanging out and this lady comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, it's Katie's birthday." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Katie was a girl in my class. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Katie was a girl in my class, and they're like, it's Katie's birthday today. Come to the party. Like, aren't you coming to the birthday party?" And I was like, "I love birthday parties." Like, I would assume, like, if an adult is telling me I'm supposed to go to this birthday party, I'll go to the birthday party. And that her house, I know, it's so stupid. Her house was right across the street from the school. And so she was just like, "Okay, let's go," you know. So we go across the street. It's all decorated for a birthday party, but there's nobody else there, including Katie, her daughter. So nobody is there. She takes me upstairs to a room and puts me in that room and gives me a cupcake. And I didn't eat the cupcake, but I remember holding the cupcake for like multiple hours. And I was like, "Oh, I have to call my mom." But I was in kindergarten and I like didn't know how to spell my own last name. And so she gives me a phone book and a phone that is not plugged in to anything. And so I just flipped through the phone book for like 6 to 8 hours and just like am playing on the phone. And like, I'm just like, and she just leaves me locked in that room. And then like the police come in and get me and I go outside and my parents are crying. And I was like, "What happened?"
What?
Yeah. So yeah.
What?
Yeah,
That's
do
so
they-
fucking crazy.
Do
I
they
was on
know
the-
how the police knew where you were? Do you know that?
Yeah, because my family was like walking around and like we at our church were all walking around like saying, you know, "Have you seen anybody? Like, have you seen her? Have you seen her?" There was like a bunch of flyers with my face on them. Like there was an Amber Alert for me.
oh
and
shit.
So, yeah. And so one of the boys that my brother actually played basketball with was sitting outside and he was like, I think I saw her go in this house." Like, and then so the police knocked and then the lady was like super suspicious, and so then they went upstairs and found me.
Do they know why
Wow.
she wanted
What?
to kidnap you?
Yeah, because she was schizophrenic and had her daughter taken away from her by the state. And so I kind of looked like her daughter, so she wanted me as her new daughter.
Oh my.
That's really
What
sad.
the fuck?
Yeah, it's super sad. But yeah, it's crazy.
Wait, so how long were you with her? Like 12?
Only for like 6-ish hours. 6 to 8. I don't really remember.
Damn.
It was
Damn.
light when I went inside and it was dark when I came outside.
It was probably really hard to tell how long you've been there at that age
Yeah.
too, because you're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you can give me a phone book and I could entertain myself for hours in a phone book. So yeah, we just hung out a little bit, had our own little party. I think about all the time if like maybe the cupcake was laced with something, but I didn't eat
that's
the
what
cupcake.
I was thinking.
Yeah, I just like didn't eat it. I just didn't feel like a cupcake, I guess.
That'd be so
Weird as a
fucked.
kid, but yeah. Yeah, it was super weird.
Did any thought, I don't know if you can remember, but did any thought occur in your head like, "Hey, there's no other kids here. This is
I remember
Where
I
are
kept
the
asking
kids?
her, I was like, "When is everyone coming? Like, when are we gonna have fun?" And she was like, "Oh, they're coming, don't worry." And I was like, "Okay." Like, just like waiting for the party. Never came.
What
Super
the
sad. But yeah, anybody else?
I can't believe you got kidnapped. I'm so,
Yeah, I can't believe you got
so stuck
kidnapped.
on there. How I didn't.
Dude, QT's life is a movie.
True.
Like
It
her high school
is.
shit
Yeah,
and
mhm.
her getting kidnapped. You should
And
write a
Amber
what's it
Alert.
called? A biography? What's it called for
Mhm.
Autobiography?
I would call it a teen drama, honestly. It'd be like very entertaining. Well, I almost got kidnapped again, like 3 years ago. Like as an adult, I almost got kidnapped into sex trafficking.
Wow.
You would think that this is like weird, but apparently it was like super common. and this is so stupid. When I tell
I mean,
this story,
sex trafficking in general is a lot more common than we think.
yeah, I didn't think it
is.
was.
It is.
But I was. This is a crazy story. But and when I tell it, you guys are gonna be like, "You're such an idiot." But I just didn't realize. So I'm sitting at work, and I get this phone call on my cell phone, and I don't answer it. It was just like a random number. And then I get a phone call to my work, and they're like, "Hey, Blair, the phone's for you." And I was like, "Okay." So then I answer the phone, and because I was like, I wasn't expecting any appointments, so I was just like, that's kind of random because people don't usually, they would talk to my assistant, they wouldn't talk to me. So it was like directly to me, and I was just kind of like, okay. So I pick up the phone, and yeah, this is so dumb. They said to me, they were like, "Hey, you are," oh, I hate even saying it out loud because I can't believe I fell for it. They're like, "You're so behind in taxes that we're sending an agent out to you now. Like you're going to get arrested right now unless you come down to the federal courthouse and pay your taxes." And so in my mind, I'm like, oh, I have to go to the federal courthouse, right? Like they're not asking for my like card number. They're not like, if they would have asked for my card number, I would have been like, duh,
Yeah.
this is a scam. But they're like, you need to go to the federal courthouse. And they like give me the address, and it is in fact like the federal courthouse in our state. And I was just like, what the fuck, you know? And so they're like, and they start giving me all this information that they know about me. Like they say my family's information. Yeah, they're like, we're just confirming like blah, 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 blah. Like, they're like, we are going to call you on your cell phone. And if you hang up, we will have someone on you within seconds. And I was like, okay.
What?
I know. So they call me on my cell phone, and they tell me the address that I'm currently at. And I'm like, yep. And then I go and I get in my car. I start driving. I like want to call my boyfriend at the time to like be like, what the fuck? But I can't because I can't get off the phone with them. And so I'm like trying to text him and drive. Sorry, chat. I was going to go to jail. To just like, so I'm like texting him while trying to drive, while trying to go to this place that I haven't driven to before, like blah, blah, blah. And so then as I'm driving, I take a wrong turn. And on the phone with me, they're like, you need to stop right now. And I was like, what? They're like, you're not driving to the courthouse. You just went a different direction. And I was like, what? They're like, we have eyes on you. We have 2 cars following you. You're going down the wrong street. You absolutely need to turn around or we will get out and arrest you. And I was like, okay. I'm sorry. Like I was just like overwhelmed. I took the wrong turn. Like, fuck, I'm so sorry. Like, holy shit. And so I'm like, okay. I start driving, and they're still like confirming stuff about me, like where I currently live, like where I went to school, like my, like everything. They have everything.
Wow.
So I'm driving. They're like giving me instructions of where to park. They're like, oh, go just park at the federal courthouse, like in the underground parking. Tell you don't pay for your pass right now. You'll pay when you leave, like telling me all this information. I'm like, okay. And so I'm like trying to figure out where the underground parking is, but at the same time, I'm just like so panicked. And then the call drops. And so I'm like, well, whatever. I just need to get in there, right? Like I just need to get in there and pay. So I hurry and just like park on the street because there was an empty parking spot. I run into the federal courthouse, and I'm just like panicked. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like I'm trying to call the number back, and it just like was going to a deadline. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but there's people, and because the federal courthouse has the metal detectors and like guards everywhere, right? They have like SWAT team everywhere. And so I go through the metal detector, and I'm just like hyperventilating and like crying, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm supposed to be here. They're gonna arrest me. Like, and he was like, I need you to come with me right now. Like the head police guy, he pulls me into a room with 3 other police guys. All of these like SWAT members come out of the building. They do a whole sweep of the entire building, like the underground parking, outside. Like I was there for like 4 hours while they were doing this sweep, and they were like, that's sex trafficking. They're luring people into the underground parking. They have you park next to them, and then they grab you and put you in their van and drive away.
Oh, what the fuck?
And then it's a federal building because like you have no clue, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Don't they
Yeah,
have
so
like they don't have better like security cams and stuff in their parking lots? Like
they do, but not every, like there's blind spots, and they like scope those. They like know those blind spots.
ugh.
That's
Yeah.
really clever, though. That
It
whole
was so
scheme?
scary.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would have
That's
fell for that shit
crazy.
too.
I would
would've
have
felt
too.
that.
I would have too.
It's like I wouldn't have if they didn't have like they literally had my location, and like it was just like so scary, and you're in the moment, you can't call anybody, like no one can talk you out of it, right? Like and
Mhm.
so it's just like, oh, it was so scary. And even then, like I remember I turned my phone off for like a month. I was like, I don't like, because they were like clearly like hacked in my phone in some way, like tracking my movement or something.
Yeah.
So like I turned my phone off for a month. I just felt like I was being watched. Like I stayed at my brother's house because I was just like, I don't know where these people are. The worst thing was like, I remember I like called my boyfriend after, and I was like crying, and he was like, I can't believe you fell for that, was his first reaction. And I was like,
Oh
I
no.
think
Are
I
you
would have
kidding
slapped him
me?
right in his
I was
face. Are
so
you
mad.
kidding?
Oh my god, it was.
I bet they don't have more information on you than what your Twitch viewers does. The overlay
That's
attached
true.
things.
Actually,
True.
that's
can't
a
dab
real
with these
scary
horns.
thing.
That's so weird though. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, so be careful if that ever happens to you guys.
I didn't realize until my mom told me that there's a lot of sex trafficking in our area. And there's like, apparently these people go to the mall and just act like, I don't know, like they're workers and shit. And it's so easy. It happens like, she told me like there was statistics on how fast it happens, but like apparently they're all around us and we have no idea.
Yeah.
Like it's just weird. That's so weird to me. I didn't realize, like I thought it only happened in certain places or something. I didn't realize it would be in like my area or like happen to you or something. It's
everywhere.
It's
I
everywhere,
I
yeah.
had fucking no idea that it was that
I had
crazy, I guess.
Well, maybe not in Missouri, but everywhere else.
Honestly, these people are too stupid enough to know how any of that fucking works. But
They have their own siblings they can fuck. They don't need.
Okay, I'm
it's not
done,
even
you
a
guys.
joke. Like they're totally doing that.
I parked in a underground parking lot one time downtown in college, and when I got back to my car, there was like this fat sticker, like a notice thing on my car, and I immediately got in my car, even though it was facing outward, but I just like got in my car and drove away. And then the university notified us about like if there's a thing. I guess this is super common. If there's like a notice or something on your car, and then you stop to read it before you get in your car, if you're in like a secluded place. Like they'll like wait for you to go back to your car, you know, so you like stand there
and then
read
get
it so
out
they
and
can
get the
grab it.
sticker.
Yeah. So I'm glad that I didn't stand there and read it. But my mom had told me about that before, so I was like, nope, I'm getting in my car.
Yeah, I've never heard of that either, and I'd read that.
By the way, just in case anyone doesn't know, I just feel like I have to share some tips for like safety in those measures.
True,
type of thing.
smart.
When you guys unlock your cars, I don't know when the model starts on cars, but when you hit the unlock button on your key fob, it unlocks the car one time, which is only the driver door. So don't spam your unlock button before you get to your car and stuff like that. Only
Oh.
unlock
didn't
it
know
once.
that.
Only unlock it one time for only the driver door to unlock. Get in the car and be ready to lock it as soon as you get in. Make sure you're holding everything like appropriately, so you just get in and you lock it right away. Okay, don't unlock the whole thing.
That's a good point. I've never thought of that.
I instantly lock my car every time I get in. I'm always
Same.
paranoid someone will
too.
try to get in. Especially after watching so many of like those crime what are they, episodes and shit. I'm so paranoid someone will just jump in with me. I like spam the lock button.
I'm never worried about this.
No,
Like,
and
ever.
Like when you walk by your car, like as you're walking
I
in,
don't-
make sure you're
this
looking
never
in the trunk
crosses
and
my
the back
mind.
seat and stuff.
There can be people waiting on the side of your car and you'll never see that. Like they're waiting for you to unlock your car.
Yeah.
Which is why I try to jump in as fast as I can and instantly lock it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had weirdos come up to my car before. I don't know if you guys have, but
Yeah.
Huh.
Elena's like, no, I'm chill.
No, I've never been scared of like being kidnapped because I'm not petite. Like, also,
Oh my
like, I don't know. I can never ever picture myself being kidnapped because I feel like I could actually defend myself. I don't know.
There were like 4 guys.
I'd be fucked.
It's usually
Yeah, I'd
like
be
there's
fucked.
usually a group waiting or a van or something. They're not near
There's
you.
one
I mean,
guy
it's
that's
not,
different, but
it's
All
not
it
obvious.
takes is for somebody to like catch you off guard too. You know, like you can be totally relaxed doing the same thing you do all the time and you're not even thinking about it. You're just chilling there with your door open and you know, they just have some way of overcoming you. So
You can
That's
be
all.
putting groceries in your trunk, and they can push you into the trunk and drive you away.
Mhm.
That
Oh my
happens.
god, I
Yeah.
never
There
thought
was
about
like
this.
there's a
Like-
thing people were hiding under cars and then like slitting Achilles. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
So they would like slit
oh
your
my God.
Achilles and then throw you in the trunk.
That's always been one of my
Mhm.
biggest fears since like House of Wax. Have you guys seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
No.
It's a really corny, like scary movie, but he does that at one point when he gets the kids in their garage. He just cuts a
Ugh.
Ow!
I'm scared
Yeah.
of the like lost dog ruse. The like, I don't know where my dog
I
is.
never
like,
listen
he's
to
always,
'em.
like with a fucking like leash. Like
Just
my
don't
dog
do
ran
it,
away, I don't know
Maya.
what to do. I would be like, oh my god, like poor dog.
Maya's like,
Where is
Never
it?
let me
do
call him.
No, never.
Someone's like,
I
my
don't even
dog
care if
is
their
hurt.
dog
He's
is
in my
lost.
van. Like, do you know anything about dogs? I'd be like, yeah. I can
Yeah,
look for you. Let me take a look for you.
Oh no.
Hopefully that never happens to me.
Well, now you just said your kryptonite, so the whole
True.
Maya's
any
like, yeah,
stalkers
goddamn it, I
watching
do.
Maya right now.
Oh
No, I
my
know.
god. No, but make sure you check your cars, especially if you gamble. If anyone here gambles,
Oh my
because
god.
I gamble,
Kayla.
and the garages, they're so big, and especially when I leave at like 1 a.m. There's people that are waiting in there, obviously. So I always check around my car before getting in, unlocking it. I always make sure there's someone coming out with me, so I don't leave alone, even if I go gamble alone. Like, just
When do
make
you
sure I
get
don't
to the
go on.
casino, Michaela? Usually around what time?
I like going during the day, so like 5 or 6 p.m. so I can get a table, and then I'm there until like 1 or 2.
Huh? Do you
But
have a
not
limit?
now, not now because of the virus.
Do you have a limit for
Uh,
how much you spend?
I usually take out 200, and if I lose
Okay.
that, then I'm done.
That's not bad.
Damn.